Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
Leading off, shortstop number 65, Ryan Sinclair.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ISC Network Fast and Furious Friday here at Moline, Illinois, the ISC Tournament 2016. Kris, Abbott, and Blair Setford with you for this game between the Circle Tap Dukes and the A1 Bombers from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The Dukes, of course, out of Wisconsin. Leading off for Circle Tap in the top of the first is Ryan Sinclair, the shortstop. He takes high, ball one from Devin McCullough. The rest of the order for Circle Tap: Daniel Dalton will bat second, Manuel Godoy third, Jovan Hanley is in the cleanup spot, Zane Van Lyshout is batting fifth, the designated player. Guillermo Patat will catch and bat sixth. Tom Crouch playing third, batting seventh. Justin Colombo is eighth, and Jeff Matazinski is the 9 batter. 3 straight balls from the pitcher Devin McCullough to start this at bat to Ryan Sinclair, who's 0 for 12 coming into today's game. Tough numbers for your leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying off air, Kris, and it's Circle Tap has got their production really from just a couple of key guys, and it hasn't been right from the top for sure.
Look at the defense behind Devin McCullough. Mingo Varela is in left field, Chris Walushka is in center, Scott Nehigh in right. 3-1 pitch is low, and Sinclair draws the walk. Derek Kennedy at third, Gil Sens, who's having an outstanding tournament for the A1 Bombers at short. Tyler Dudley picking it up in the later part of the week as well is at second. Mike Hoadley at first, Freddie Carmona is catching, and as mentioned, Devin McCullough is on the mound. McCullough coming into today's game is 1-0. He's pitched 10 1/3, but given up 10 hits along the way, Blair, and he has an ERA of 2.03.
Well, you talked about Jorge Segura having probably better numbers than Devin McCullough at this point for the A1 Bombers, but it's McCullough. He's your ace. He's the guy. He's also the prawn. He's the guy that you're going to ride from here on in.
And Devin McCullough, no matter what he does for the rest of his career, has one of the biggest moments in Canadian fast pitch history, history all time, last year in his hometown of Saskatoon.
Being on the mound to be the winning pitcher in the gold medal game, striking out the New Zealand Black Sox batter with a changeup, no less, to clinch the gold for Team Canada.
He's having a tough time finding the zone, although he gets a strike on Daniel Dalton, who's batting second for Circle Tap. Dalton in his first ISC tournament batting .300, and actually directly in front of us, Blair, here from our broadcast location. I see Daniel's father, Jerry, and mother, Yvonne, girlfriend, Julie, and Julie's best friend, and also Shane Boland's fiance, Courtney. So they're all in the front row basking in this intense heat here in Moline.
Well, I don't think holding up your hand is going to be enough to block the sun there, Courtney. It's going to take a little bit more than that. But Daniel Dalton, right before the season was picked up by the Circle Tap Dukes, and he's paid immediate dividends for them. He's had an outstanding summer, hitting home runs for the Dukes all season long, and as you said, batting .300 here in his ISC World Tournament debut.
Yeah, he's just got one RBI on the tournament. He's played well defensively. He did have a critical gaffe the other night in the big game where they lost and got knocked down to the losers bracket. And Dalton will strike out to be the first out here for the Circle Tap Dukes in the top of the first inning. But Dalton, yeah, he left St. John's, Newfoundland, where he's from, moved and spent the summer with the guys in Wisconsin. His girlfriend, Julie, as I mentioned, she lives in Chicago where she's attending school. So it worked out both ways for him, I believe.
Yeah, Chicago not being too far from Wisconsin, so an opportunity to spend some time together over the summer and play some fastball on the road. What more can you ask for?
Not much for the man in his young early 20s. So here's Manuel Godoy, and he is tearing the cover off the ball. 8 hits, a .615 batting average, and he's just 1 hit behind the tournament leader in Francisco Lombardo. He won't tie him here, though. Skied high. Kennedy looks up into the blue sky, although a little bit of cloud cover here today, something we haven't had all week. 2 down for Circle Tap.
Well, we're all keeping an eye on the weather forecast for much later this afternoon into the evening, and then tomorrow as well, as it's a bit of a threatening forecast at the moment.
And if you were with us last night in the Hill United Scarborough Force game, you could see the lightning flashes off in the distance. We weren't off the air for 2 minutes, and the rain started here in Moline. So the softball gods were with us for that one. A little bit of rain overnight, but not anywhere near enough to break up this humidity.
To get that was Tyler Dudley, and a good job to snare the errant throw, and he keeps Ryan Sinclair at second base, but a stolen base. And I like the aggressiveness there from Ed Matazinski, the coach of Circle Tap Dukes.
So Ryan Sinclair led off the inning with a walk. Daniel Dalton struck out. Manuel Godoy popped up to the third baseman, and now Jovan Hanley has a 2-0 count as Ryan Sinclair is safe at second with a stolen base. McCullough delivers a high rise ball. Hanley rips through it, and the Hastings, New Zealand native just missed sending that one for a ride.
Well, Jovan Hanley had a big 3-run home run for Circle Tap Dukes earlier in the week, sending them on to a win against the Pueblo Bandits. He was also right in the middle of that big 9-run uprising they had in 1 inning yesterday against the Northeast Drillers. That game was tied 1-1 in the 4th inning, and then Circle Tap just exploded on the Drillers for 9 as they batted around almost twice in the inning.
Another rise ball that Hanley swings through. The count is now even at 2-2 with 2 down, top of the first inning. Hanley fouls it straight back off the screen, and we'll do the 2-2 again. Just in the top of the first inning, this game was scheduled for a noon local time start. Ended up starting just after 12:30. And if you weren't with us for the first game, you missed a pretty good one. And the California, I made the mistake, Blair Setford, the BCA's defeating the Toronto Batmen.
Well, the over-under on my doing that was 5. I think I kept it onto the under. We'll have to see what happens later on when they're back on the broadcast at 2.
Yeah, they'll be right back up, just 1 game off, and they're going to meet up with the Scarborough Force in the scheduled 2 p.m. game. The winner of this game will move on to face the New York Gremlins at 4 p.m. A low strike called. Hanley rung up on the 3-2 count. He has a few words for home plate umpire Fred Malaches on the way back to the dugout, but that'll do it for Circle Tap here in the top of the first. We'll get our first look at Sebastian Gervasuti when we come back.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time Fastpitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
Okay, Blair, Setford, we'll take a look at the batting order now for the home team in this game, the A1 Bombers. Leading off is the center fielder, Kris Walushka. Derek Kennedy is batting second at third base. Freddie Carmona bats third. Marshall Cronk, the designated player, will bat in the cleanup spot. Tyler Dudley with 2 home runs here in the ISC World Tournament bats fifth. Scott Nehigh, a newcomer and having a great event, he is in right field batting sixth. Mike Hoadley is seventh. Mingo Varela is eighth. And Gil Sands, who has been tearing it up from the 9-hole, is batting, well, as I just said, ninth. That's a drop ball called outside from Gervasuti in the first pitch of the at-bat. Patat says, "Are you kidding me?" That had to be there. And Blair, I think our stream might have just froze up for a second. So as we were mentioning, Sebastian Gervasuti was hit with a line drive earlier this week, but you had an opportunity to chat with him.
Yeah, I talked with him yesterday just after their game with the Northeast Drillers. He had a day off, and he went 3 innings against the Drillers and then came out as Circle Tap was way out in front as that ball is bobbled and then thrown away by Ryan Sinclair, and he got lucky that the ball ricocheted nicely for him off the fence. But Seba said he was able to go 100% and got the 3 innings in. He said it was glad it was only 3, and he is going to be good to go for today.
So the leadoff batter in Walushka is on. We'll wait for the official score as see if that was an error or a base hit.
Third baseman number 18.
They're going to say E6, so a tough start for Ryan Sinclair. And Derek Kennedy will come up with a runner on. Shows bunt, the runner goes, and in there safely with a stolen base is Kris Walushka.
Kris Walushka, great wheels. You saw it on display right there. Kris is playing center field. He can also play some shortstop. And very versatile to have a guy like that in your lineup when you can bat him at the top of the order, steal bases, get a board, put some pressure on the defense, and you're seeing it right here already.
A1 Bombers trying to play aggressively. The Bombers have had an interesting tournament to date. Really 3 blowout wins. 9-0 over Chetty's Pretty Boys, 7-1 over the Batmen, and they dropped a 4-3 decision to the Scarborough Force here on Wednesday night. That ball is in the dirt, and it's thrown away. Walushka scampers home and then rolled his ankle coming across the plate. Walushka is down in a heap.
Well, it must have been the absolute last step that he took. I don't know if he jammed something on the plate or what, but he's going to need help to get off the field here. That is a huge blow for A1 Bombers if he is going to be unable to continue. You just saw the speed on display. They went with the fake bunt steal third play, turned it into a foot race with Ryan Sinclair to get the third base. He easily won that. The throw ricocheted over towards the dugout. Easily scores, but then the absolute last step, it looked like he just rolled it trying to step on home plate.
Now this could be one of a couple of things here. He just ran to first on the initial play, stole, and then some more running. I don't think he rolled anything. I think he got short of breath or cramped up or maybe a little faint there because that was dangerous. It looked like he kind of collapsed coming across home. And it looks to be okay, but Blair, goes back to what we were talking about. Very hot out there, and if these guys don't stay hydrated, we could see things such as that happen.
Well, we've had just about everything happen all in one at bat as we're only the second batter into the bottom of the first inning. Kris Walushka doing it all himself, a couple of stolen bases.
2 stolen bases and 2 errors allow Walushka to score. So a tough start for Circle Tap, but if you're an A1 Bombers fan, it couldn't be going any better right now. Derek Kennedy at the plate, he chops one foul. He's down in the count. facing 2 strikes against Sebastian Gervasuti. Gervasuti's 2-0 with 18 and a third innings pitched here in the tournament. 12 hits given up, just 2 earned runs, 22 strikeouts, and a minuscule .76 ERA. And that run will not be earned either. But the stats don't matter. It's the number up on the big scoreboard in right center field, and right now, Circle Tap trail by 1.
Gervasuti, like a lot of Argentine pitchers, will utilize that big sweeping curveball that will break from left to right as you see it on your monitor at home.
1-2 pitch. Kennedy chases up and out of the zone and is down on strikes.
You saw it right there. That's that big rise curve that Seba likes to throw. He'll also curve the drop in down low and try to clip the outside front corner of the plate coming across. And he is very effective when he can get both of those pitches working.
Freddie Carmona stepping in from San Antonio, Texas. He's batting .385. 2 home runs and 6 RBI for Carmona, but a lot of that came early in the tournament, Blair. They're going to need him today for sure going forward.
Yeah, he is one of the engines that makes this team tick. And if they can get Freddie Carmona going along with Walushka and Kronk, they've got a top 4 that's just about as good as anybody else's here in the tournament.
Nice inside drop ball, strike 1. 1 run in, 1 down in the top of the first inning. There you see that Gervasuti pitch well outside. Carmona's not going to be interested in that. We saw the same stuff from Juan Podolicio the other night against these right-handed hitters trying to get guys to chase. That's going to be outside. Gervasuti wanted the call, though. So early on, definitely some disconnect between the Circle Tap battery and the man wearing the white shirt behind the plate.
Well, Freddie Malachis typically does have a tight strike zone. He's out there with Rob Durand at first and Roger Griffiths at third. And Seba's going to have to work with Freddie to try to find that strike zone.
Inside, Carmona turns on it and fouls it down the left field line. It goes all the way down to Jeff Matazinski in the corner as he retrieves it. So a 2-2 count now, 1 away. The first runner, Chris Walushka, reached on an error, stole second, stole third, and scored on a throwing error as the ball squirted away from Tom Crouch. Carmona check swing, stays alive on a drop ball on the inside part of the plate. Kris Abbott and Blair Setford here with you on the ISC Network. Game 2 of 5 here today. With the big one tonight, Blair, of course you're involved with the coaching staff of the Toronto Gators. Carmona to short. Sinclair, no error on this one, 2 away. The big one tonight, the Toronto Gators and the Hill United Chiefs. Barring a catastrophic event, it'll be Adam Folkert against Sean Cleary on the mound. And both teams really hitting their stride here this week and on a collision course for 7 p.m. tonight.
Well, and you talked about the 2 pitchers there, and Sean Cleary, a pure guts performance last night with only 3 hits, and I believe it was 14 strikeouts in a 3-1 win over the New York Gremlins last night. Sean strong at the end when he was called upon to be. Adam Folkert, I went down a field level in the last inning, and he looked to me like he was throwing with a chip on his shoulder. That Scarborough team had beaten him 2 weeks earlier at the ASA tournament, and to me that was as much emotion as I've seen from Adam Folkert in quite a while. He really was putting everything into it last night. He really wanted that win over the Force, and he wanted it in a dominant fashion.
Marshall Kronk goes up, takes a look at 3 pitches, and will walk back to the dugout and wait for his turn to come back around. Sebastian Gervasuti, after giving up a run to the leadoff batter, Chris Walushka, sets down the next 3 in order. After 1 complete, the score is A1 Bombers 1, Circle Tap 0, and we will update you on Chris Walushka when we come back.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, You can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca. We thank First Nations Payments for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
At Cooper Tire, we make tires for people, not just cars. Our brand promise is that Cooper tires perform on the road so drivers can perform everywhere those roads take them, because life is a journey. From the everyday motorist to the most demanding high-performance off-road and motorsports enthusiasts, we have tires for you. Cooper Tire is proudly based in Findlay, Ohio, and we have manufacturing, sales and distribution, technical and design operations within our family of companies in more than a dozen countries around the world. Visit us online at coopertire.com to learn more. Cooper Tire, proud of where we've been, confident in where we're going.
Okay, Blair, Setford, great news as Kris Walushka ran out to center field, so he looks to be feeling fine after what looked to be either A, rolling his ankle, or B, getting a little lightheaded coming across the finish line on the first run, but either way, good to see him back out.
Yeah, indeed. That looked to be a bit of a scary moment there for Kris, but obviously whatever it was, momentary in nature, and right back out to center field, as you said.
So due up for circle tap here in the top of the second, Zane Van Lyshout, Guillermo Patat, and Tom Crouch, the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Patat batting 167, Van Lyshout is 0 for 4. So like you talked about in the top of the inning, circle tap is going to need production from the bottom half of their order to have success today.
Yeah, really, it's been Godoy and Hanley who have been driving in the bulk of the runs. Colombo did come through yesterday with a big hit, and that's why he's back in the lineup today.
Talk about a small strike zone. It's going both ways as McCullough won't get the call. Drop ball on the outside part of the plate. Swinging through is Van Lyshout. He got a pitch that he wanted but didn't connect. 2-1, and guys get really locked in when they've got those 2-0 or 3-1 counts.
Well, the other thing with the small strike zone that it allows them to do is really just pick out a zone. If you don't have to worry about corners or anything else, you got a shot at that, Kris. Oh, it didn't quite make it to us.
Popped up just 3 seats down from Yvonne Dalton. She wasn't going to get her body in front of it, though. That's going to drop foul.
She wanted nothing to do with that.
Thought she would have made the play and made the throw the first, but she's a circle tap supporter. She wanted to let that one drop. Bounces off the plate, full count. McCullough dealing to Zane Van Lyshout. Crowd continues to swell here for this playoff Friday. Swing and a miss. Van Lyshout is down on strikes. That's 2 in a row for the hurler from Saskatoon.
Now, Kris, coming out of the break there, we had the ad from Circle Tap and the Boys' Summer Tournament. That's one we got to put on the bucket list to get down to do some ISC Network broadcasts over at some point in the future. I hear that's just one of the best tournaments on the circuit, with the Circle Tap bar right on the sidelines of the diamond right there, and the atmosphere, I am told by the guys who have gone there and played, that it is just one of the absolute best in the tournament circuit.
Well, it's funny, you know, an interesting story. The other night, we had the chance to have dinner. That's high for a ball. You and I and Lance and Joe had the chance to have dinner with Robbie Gray, Colin Abbott, Todd Martin, and Todd Budke. And they were reminiscing about some old stories, and one of them became how a guy had some Tabasco sauce. That's drilled back up the middle, a one-out single by Guillermo Patat. Todd Budke, in fact, who used to use the Skoll. There was a story about how he left his dip out on top of the water cooler, and somebody had put Tabasco sauce in his dip. And while that's funny, I said, well, that's funny, but where'd the Tabasco sauce come from? They said the bar is literally on first base. So somebody ran up to the bar, got some Tabasco sauce, and it was an interesting night for Todd.
That may have taken a beating on our camera there. We're a little cockeyed now. We'll get that fixed in between innings.
Yeah, Guillermo Patat, first pitch swinging right back into the screen. Our camera's been pretty steady, but that one was straight back to its location. The runner on first, or check that, that's Tom Crouch batting now. Patat's the runner on first after the single. With one away, 2 strikes on the third baseman. He's got a .200 batting average through Circle Tap's games to this point. That's going to go to the screen and allow Patat to move down to second. The ball is thrown away, squirts into left field, and Patat's going to come around. There's going to be a play at the plate. He is out.
Perhaps tried to stretch that a little bit too far. Freddie Carmona didn't want to throw it, but it was one of those ones where when you try to stop your motion, the ball gets away from you, and that squirted all the way out to short left field. But I really think there that they might have been better off leaving Patat at third.
So I think, Blair, we're going to score that 2-6-7-2 on the putout. Might have to wind back the tape to get the official.
Well, it definitely went off the glove of Gil Sens, who made a diving attempt for it. But that's not a line score you often see.
So now Tom Crouch with 2 out and 2 strikes drills it to left center, and this is gone. Tom Crouch with a home run, a solo home run after Patat being thrown out at the plate. But Circle Tap have pulled even with the A1 Bombers. When you talk about the little things in the game of fast pitch, it could be 2-1 right now.
Well, and it is indeed the little things. I think Circle Tap certainly will be happy that they've tied the game right back up here at the top of the second inning. But what could have been might have been a 2-1 lead. Nonetheless, we are tied.
And we'll wait and see if that run will come back to haunt the Dukes as we go forward. First pitch to the right fielder, Justin Colombo.
Now batting right fielder number 32, Justin Colombo.
Colombo is from Kimberly, Wisconsin, and is batting .429 out of the 8-hole for Circle Tap. Takes ball 2. So here in the top of the second inning, Zane Van Lyshout struck out, then Patat singled, only to be thrown out on what can only be described as a bizarre play. Tom Crouch then drilling a home run to the center field retaining wall beyond the fence. And now Justin Colombo is in a 3-0 count as he is ahead of Devin McCullough. Jeff Matazinski waits on deck. The 3-0 pitch is a strike to Colombo. He's got no home runs, but 3 RBI here. Inside pitch ties him up, and the count is full. Devin McCullough is on the mound for the A1 Bombers from Saskatoon. Ball 4, low. So Colombo keeps the inning alive for Circle Tap, and Jeff Matazinski, the left fielder, will step in. And folks, you can see these Circle Tap uniforms. They've got all black and green outlines of black numbers. So even though it looks like they're wearing black t-shirts, they are actually nice looking uniforms up close, but on a stream and for broadcasters, they are a complete nightmare. The runner on first is Colombo. Matazinski's at the plate, fouled the first pitch off, 0-1. Next game here on diamond number 5, the main diamond at the Green Valley Sports Complex, will be the Scarborough Force and the BC A's. Pitch is high on a rise ball. Projected starting pitchers for that one. For Scarborough, I would assume Juan Podolicio. You never know, we could see Donnie Scott. He did not get into the game last night. Inside just for a ball. And Lucas Mata throwing the game this morning for BC, so that would lead us to believe Ramon Jones will get the start for the A's. Winner of this game will play the New York Gremlins after the Scarborough BC game. And then our final game of the day will be the Toronto Gators and the Hill United Chiefs in the winners bracket final. Winner of that game will go straight to Saturday night's final and will have a distinct advantage over the rest of the teams who will have to battle it out to get there. 2-2 count, 2 down. Colombo, the runner, on first. Swinging through that is Matazinski. He will strike out to end the top half of the inning. Circle Tap get 1 run on the Tom Crouch blast, and we are all tied as we head to the bottom of the second. Due up for the A1 Bombers, Tyler Dudley, Scott Nehigh, and Mike Hoadley.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
The law firm of Fireman Steinmetz Dea built its reputation on getting fair compensation for victims of serious personal injury or catastrophic claims. With a combined 90 years of experience and a fierce dedication to achieving results, fireman lawyers have recovered millions of dollars every year for our clients. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, a slip and fall, or as a result of any other act of negligence, when we represent you, we're committed to getting the results you deserve. With the lawyers at Fireman Steinmetz Dea, you are not alone. Contact us through firemanlawyers.com for a free consultation. No legal fees are billed until you receive your settlement. We thank Jack Fireman for his generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Kris Abbott and Blair Setford back here with you in the bottom of the second inning. Tyler Dudley, the second baseman, will lead things off for the A1 Bombers, and Dudley had a clutch home run the other night, Blair.
Yeah, Tyler started a little bit slow, but then he has punched out a couple in his last few at-bats, and when this guy gets hot, he can carry them. He did it through the ASA tournament and trying to do the same thing here at the ISC World Tournament.
Dudley started the tournament 1 for 8 from Battle Creek, Michigan. Then had a big home run to get them back in the game with the Scarborough Force. 2-0 from Gervasuti. Drop ball, hard drop ball, swing and a miss from Dudley. Although he had that lined up pretty good. He's batting .250, sorry Blair.
Kris, I was just going to say I went down to field level to make an adjustment for our camera there. I'll tell you a couple things about being outside just for those few moments. Number one, with the cloud cover, it's actually quite pleasant out there. The second the sun peeked out from behind a cloud, it really got oppressive. So the players right now with a bit of cloud cover getting a bit of a break. The second is the top spin on Devin McCullough's changeup. That ball is spinning so hard with the top spin that even if you hit it, the only thing you're going to do is ground it into the dirt.
That's excellent. Things you can only see from the front row of the backstop. Full count on the leadoff batter in the bottom of the second inning, Tyler Dudley. Scott Nehigh is on deck, batting .364. Mike Hoadley in the hole, batting .333. So quite the contrast between the A1 bottom half of the order and the Circle Tap half of the order. And if you weren't watching, it seems our Canadian women have repeated the bronze medal at the Olympics. So congratulations to them, at least for our Canadian viewers who are tuned in. Don't know how many Swedish viewers we have. Long throw, and that's out of the park. The second error of the game by Ryan Sinclair, and not a smart play.
And I was just going to say the very same thing, Chris. Not only is that a physical error, but it's a mental error. You were not going to get Tyler Dudley on that play. Why are you even making an attempt? And you throw that ball right over the fence and you give up second base automatically.
I'm just trying to figure out where Tyler Dudley went. He ran past first base.
He's all the way down in the Circle Tap bullpen having a conversation with the bullpen catcher.
That's where he is. Yeah, you can see him, and he's come back.
He almost got all the way down to the fence.
Huh.
That's a long run out. Maybe he thought he was in the 200 yesterday with Usain Bolt and Andre DeGrassi.
Now he's limping back, holding his left quad. And I'm starting to wonder if, as a group, the A1 Bombers have not been staying hydrated.
Well, he is indeed really putting a lot of emphasis on that left quad. He is very gingerly going to go to second base, got the hand dropping down to it. And that would be a blow for Tyler and the A1 Bombers if he comes up injured, because he's a big part of their offense, and he's a mainstay defensively, too, over at second base. So I've got this base hit for Tyler Dudley, and then the error on the throw going up to second base.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure. But all you missed was a Scott Knee-High walk, so apologies to the Knee-High family. And we've got a foul ball on an attempted bunt by the first baseman, Mike Hoadley.
A1 Bombers threatening to add to their total. Kris Walushka scored a run basically all by himself back in the first inning without any assistance.
Well, not any assistance from his team, at least. Bunt is down. Hoadley, a great sack bunt, and he'll move the runners to second and third.
He was surrounded by Circle Tap Dukes players as Tom Crouch and Manuel Godoy had crashed from the corners. He had Guillermo Patat behind him and Sebastian Gervasuti in front of him. And he laid down a beauty that hugged the line up towards third.
Absolutely. If the lime machine used by the grounds crew here had have maybe spit out a thinner line, that could have been a foul ball, but that sat right on the chalk. And we've seen, there's a lot of people lamenting the bunting game has not been what it used to be for a lot of these players, but we've seen also some very nice bunts laid down this week. So Mingo Varela with two runners in scoring position will take a pitch high for ball one from Sebastian Gervasuti. So Tyler Dudley is out of the game right now with a left quad injury. Josh Horton running for him at third. Scott Knee-High is at second. Mike Hoadley sacrificed both of them there. Mingo Varela, the number 8 batter, is up with one out. Oh, that is a beautiful drop ball on the outside part of the plate. The umpire looked away. I don't know about that one, Blair.
That's a very, very close pitch. And the thing is, when you squeeze the zone, you allow guys to just pick out spots and go hacking away.
As Varela did on that pitch, fouled off to the left side.
Yeah, when you make the guy throw into a shoebox, it's very, very difficult to record strikeouts. You get the higher pitch counts. The games go on longer.
And it's been both pitchers. Both pitchers haven't been happy with the zone that's been established by Fred Malaches today, but it is what it is if you're out there and you've got to adjust.
Well, Freddie, we talked about it right after the game. Freddie typically has a strike zone that is smaller than some others, and he is definitely a hitter's umpire as opposed to a pitcher's umpire.
Well, I'm sure the hitters will take any advantage they can get. 2-1 count to the hitter, Mingo Varela. And a heavy drop ball. He swings through, and had the count messed up. It was 2-2. Varela goes down swinging for the second out. And that brings up a guy who's really caught my eye this week, and that's Gil Sands. Defensively and offensively has been more than pulling his weight for the A1 Bombers,
Number 30, Gil Sains.
batting .500 with a home run and 4 RBIs out of the 9-hole.
Yeah, down in the 9 spot that you're not expecting that type of production. You're happy if you can set the table for the top of the shop. But when you've got a guy there driving in runs, and he scorched that ball for the home run too. That was hardly a fence scraper. And he's been doing a great job out there all week, as you said. Caught your eye, caught mine as well.
Well low and outside on the first pitch of the at-bat. Ball 1 to Gil Sands, who hails from Denver, Colorado. Not a whole lot of guys playing from Colorado except with the Pueblo team, who are, of course, based there.
Sorry, I was visually distracted.
Yeah, there's some children playing right in front of the broadcast booth, and they're going to be future ISC players. Chopper, Sands, hard to first. They're going to make the play at the plate. Heads up D by Sebastian Gervasuti, as Josh Horton was trying to make the play at home, but the ball didn't get as far away from home plate as he may have thought.
Yeah, that was, I guess, a calculated risk there by Josh Horton, but I think perhaps somewhat ill-advised as well, as he was out fairly handily at the plate.
Well, we've seen aggressive base running through the first 2 innings from the A1 Bombers. After 2 complete, we are tied at 1 in this game, number 2 of the day from the ISC World Tournament 2016.
Think about the greatest tournaments and championships played in fastball. Remember the players who have been at the highest pinnacle of our game, like Adam Folkard and Andrew Kirkpatrick. Gorilla Gold was there helping them win. What has been a closely guarded secret by the most prominent players is now available for you. We're ready to give you a hand to play at your best in all conditions. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Var Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Ryan Sinclair leading off for the Circle Tap Dukes in the top of the 3rd inning. He walked and stole second his first time out, but it's been what he's been doing defensively that's gotten him in a bit of trouble. This is a flare to the right side, and just foul, as sliding to try and make the catch was Tyler Dudley. No ill effects on the quad there, although maybe now he's feeling it.
Well, I wonder if he got some hydration, some electrolytes or something when he got back to the bench. A bit of a limp there, actually, from Tyler on a couple of the steps, but definitely a good effort.
Yeah, the competitor in him saw that ball falling to the ground. He made a mad dash for it, and now he's feeling the pain. This drop ball outside, not called for McCullough, so the outside dipper that so many pitchers use to their advantage is being eliminated from both the arsenals of Devin McCullough and Sebastian Gervasuti. Single up the middle from Sinclair, so he's reached base for the 2nd time this afternoon.
That pitch was way up in the top of the strike zone, and it was, well, I thought almost off the plate. But Ryan Sinclair went and got it and smacked it right back up the middle. And Devin McCullough not happy with himself that he didn't get that pitch a little further out.
Squaring to bunt. Sinclair moves down to second on the Dalton sacrifice.
Well, we've seen a couple of well-executed bunts here. Daniel Dalton getting the job done, along with Mike Hoadley on the A1 Bombers side of the scorebook. And again, you know, we talk about it as the lost art and things like that. There are guys out there who can do it. It's the question of whether you can do it when the situation calls for it. I'm not a big believer in bunting, certainly this early in the game, but if runs do seem like a premium, you certainly do need to be able to do it later when execution counts more than ever.
Runner on first, one out. That's going to go to the screen, but a good bounce for Freddie Carmona. He's able to hold the runner Sinclair at second.
This is the guy you want at the plate for Circle Tap fans. Manuel Godoy having a great tournament. He's been the one driving in the runs, getting the key base hits for the Dukes. He and Jovan Honley, who's on deck.
Yeah, he just inside-outed one, and it was a lazy pop fly to the third baseman, Derek Kennedy, in his first at-bat. And now with the runner in scoring position again, Sinclair back out on second. 1-1 is the score in the top of the third inning. One away. In the dirt, in the feet of Carmona, and that's 2 pitches, 2 chances for Sinclair to move down, and Carmona keeping him there.
Freddie Carmona, who burst onto the scene with his offense, but is underrated defensively. He's got a heck of an arm. We saw him make a great play the other night where a throw, ball out in front. He faked the throw to first and turned him through a peg to third and picked off Andy Skelton at third base.
Yeah, that kept him in the game against Scarborough for sure. Swinging through the rise ball is Godoy. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count on the Circle Tap first baseman. Ryan Sinclair led the inning off with a single, was sacrificed to second by Daniel Dalton. Oh, chasing well up out of the zone there, Godoy. And there's 2 down, and McCullough using his trademark jumping rise ball.
Well, just reached back and threw that one right by Manuel Godoy up in the letters to start with, and by the time it got to the plate, it was well up into the eyes, and Godoy's got to lay off that pitch.
So interesting chat going on our stream right now. Nate Devine checking in to find out the score of the BCA's game, and Matt Palazzo is there as well, telling him to get on a flight and get here for the last couple of games. Talking about guys who did a good job in the booth, Matt Palazzo made his debut. Unfortunately, was a little bit cut short.
Well, that was the night that the lights went out here in Moline. And Matt was kind enough to stick around and do some chat room talk with you for about half an hour or so, but ultimately when the game that was on the main diamond was moved over to an adjacent field where there was lighting, we had to cut that one short. But we'll get Matt back up in the booth at some time in the future here on the ISC Network, and we'll bring Josh Horton back as well, and we'll continue to add to the cast of characters that we've got here on the ISC Network.
2-0 pitch to Hanley, grooved in for a strike. And you know, that sounds like a country song. The night the lights went out in Moline. That could be a hit for you, Blair.
Well, if you play it backwards, you'll get your dog back, your truck back, and your wife back too.
Play it forward, unless I get the dog. Oh, hard swing from Hanley, a drop ball. Now the count is 2-2. 1-1 score. The winner of this game moves on to face the New York Gremlins, so that's why Mr. Palazzo was kicking it back at the hotel, tuned in.
So some of the Gremlins coaching staff were here. I'm not sure they were doing scouting. Looked like they had their hands full of food.
You beat them last night, so now you can have a few words, can you? Is that how it works?
Well, that's a private joke between Greg Leather and I.
Full count to Jovan Hanley. Runner on second with 2 down. Big pitch in this game. And Hanley fouls it down the left side, and that happened so fast that nobody saw it except the spotter down there in the A1 Bombers bullpen, as Jorge Segura has gotten up.
Yeah, Marshall Kronk is down there doing spotting duty. With the sun out again, it almost just seems like it increases in temperature by about 10 degrees as the sun breaks the cloud cover. And some of these clouds, we had a lot more cover about 15 minutes ago. It's starting to break up, and much more blue sky right now over top of Milton Field at the Green Valley Sports Complex.
Full count, gonna do it again. Hanley fouls it off into the top right corner of the screen. And Blair, I've never been in a room that was fully air conditioned where I still found it warm, and that's the situation here in the broadcast booth. No amount of air conditioning is going to be able to fight off the heat when that sun is at its hottest here.
Well, we are the lucky ones in that regard, as the room sometimes fills up with people seeking a bit of relief from that sun beating down on them all day. Our man Buddha to our right has been a constant here in the booth, and I don't blame him whatsoever. Done a great job on the PA mic and keeping score and helping the official scorer keep score.
Buddha's got to get back to work, though, because that's a walk to Jovan Hanley, bringing up the designated player, Zane Van Lyshout.
Now batting designated player, number 33, Zane Van Lyshout.
So runners on first and second now. McCullough spent a lot of time out there on the mound here in the top of the third inning. This will be the fifth batter to the plate for Circle Tap. A lot of deep counts.
Well, here's where Circle Tap has got to get some production from somebody other than named Godoy and Hanley. Van Lyshout, as you said, still over, still looking for something. Now would be as good a time as any to break out. Saw it in the last game, Chris Waverick with a key RBI single. Zane Van Lyshout needs something here.
1-0 count. Change up. He's going to check his swing. They're going to check it, and the right call made by Rob Duran down on the right side of the infield. And we were talking last night about it on the broadcast about offers as well, and Joel Southam of the Hill United Chiefs was offer, and I didn't have the words out of my mouth, and he lost one out there in the parking lot somewhere. Home runs coming from many different sources, and some unlikely last night for the Chiefs. Southam had one, Todd Hunter had one, and another one from Mark Johnson. Be interesting to see if he's able to go tonight. 2-0 count. Low in the zone, a little low lifter. Hey folks, we are back here from the Green Valley Sports Complex. I had to give a quick restart to our program here. So, so is the streaming world. All you missed was a lookout strikeout by Kris Walushka. Went down looking. Now Derek Kennedy is up with a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the third inning. Still tied at 1. Foul tip held onto by Patat. So 2 away for Sebastian Gervasuti in the bottom half of the third inning, and what's turning into a good ball game here.
Yeah, 1-1. 1-1 between Circle Tap and the A1 Bombers. And I think, Gervasuti may be finding the range along with Devin McCullough a little bit. 3 of the last 4 outs by way of strikeout for Gervasuti.
And he also made the other play in between those 3 strikeouts on the bunt play at home, or the swinging bunt from Gil Sands. Drop ball outside. At least it's consistent. They're not sometimes getting it and sometimes not. That pitch isn't there today. Freddie Carmona grounded out to short in his first at-bat. And he drills this back off Gervasuti, who corrals the ball onto first. And the A1 Bombers will go 1, 2, 3 here in the third inning. So we're going to move on to the fourth. Tied at 1. It'll be Patat, Crouch, and Colombo due up for the Circle Tap Dukes.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Back here for the top of the 4th inning, Guillermo Patat, who singled back in the second, will lead things off for the Circle Tap Dukes. Kris Abbott and Blair Setford with you on this one. Coming up for the scheduled 2 p.m. game, which is probably going to be closer to 3 p.m., it'll be Joe Todd and Lance Wynn. Oh, and this is lifted high and deep to right, but caught crashing through the fence by Scott Nehigh, saving the leadoff home run. Scott Nehigh continues to impress here this week. An absolutely huge catch to rob the Circle Tap catcher of a home run. So that catch by Scott Nehigh keeps us at 1-1. Blair Setford, as he backed up all the way to the fence, crashed through it. And now we are back with Tom Crouch, who hit a home run himself in his last at-bat.
The advantages of the breakaway fence, they're soft fence, if you will. We saw that earlier in the week with Matty Waugh going right through the fence. The advantages of the soft fence there, we saw Matty Waugh go through the fence earlier in the week, and Nehigh, kind of the same idea right there, backing into it. Don't know that he makes that catch with a permanent fence.
Well, it would have been a lot more painful. And, of course, the one that Matty Waugh made, he cleared the fence, just caught it with his foot like a hurdler out there in left field. That's one of the all-time great plays in the history of the ISC World Tournament. Tom Crouch in a 1-1 count. Another pitch low, 2-1. I believe they're going to double check the count, as a foul ball actually just came in on the right side of your screen from diamond number 6. The other 3 diamonds in use here today, Blair, it's the Legends Tournament and the Under-21 event that got underway earlier this week.
Yeah, we're surrounded right now by the Legends Tournament on 3 other diamonds. The Under-21 is out on one of the outlying diamonds right now, but it will move into the interior as the day wears on.
And I was downstairs this morning and I saw Mr. Darren Zach rumbling around in a number 43 Toronto Gators uniform, and boy, what a sight that is to behold. Skied in the infield. Sens will take charge, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, Darren Zach picked up a victory yesterday for the Toronto Legends team, the Toronto Gators Legends squad, and the Z-Man continuing to rack up the victories in ISC.
Well, there's some people, some of the volunteers here, and I just said, do you know that this is one of the best players to ever play the game that you're watching right now? Chopper out to second base. Dudley takes it on a 3-hop, sidearms it to first. Hoadley retires the side. So just like A1 did in the bottom of the 3rd, Circle Tap will go 1, 2, 3. And we'll move along to the bottom of the 4th inning here at the ISC World Tournament 2016.
Why do you play? For 100 years since 1912, Worth has been helping top athletes answer that question. Whether it's for strikeouts or home runs, the Worth K-Master 120 is the best ball in men's fast-pitch softball, and there's nothing soft about it or you. Worth is proud to be the official ball supplier to the ISC. Visit worthsports.com for more information on Worth products, including the K-Master.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
1-1 is the score. The A1 Bombers will send up Marshall Cronk to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Tyler Dudley will follow him. Scott Nehigh due up third. And it was Scott Nehigh's catch back in the top half of this inning that keeps this game square at ones.
Well, right now it's a game of grinding it out for the pitchers. You just got to continue to get the ground balls and the flyouts. Can't make a mistake, especially to a guy like Marshall Cronk, who can leave the yard in a hurry. And then you've got to maybe take advantage of a mistake or a miscue or a bad bounce and try and scratch out a run any way you can.
Cronk will lift this one high. Dalton retreats at second and makes the off-balance catch to retire Marshall Cronk.
I've been really impressed with Daniel Dalton's defense here. We first saw him on the broadcast the other night in the Hill United game, and he just kind of whiffed on what would have been a double play ball. But ever since then, he's been rock solid out there at second base. I'm really impressed with this kid. And it's a name, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't heard of until this season.
Well, you know, Blair, Daniel Dalton came up through that Kelly's Pub Junior Canadians program back in Newfoundland and actually is a third baseman by trade, and that's where he really excels. I have never seen a player with reflexes like Dalton on third base, and a lot of that comes from the fact that he is a mixed martial artist, a black belt.
But the last mixed martial artist that I can recall being in the game was the big guy out of New York City, and he was a monster in the mixed martial artists.
Dalton has no fear at third base. He doesn't, if he can't get his glove on it, he just takes it off the chest and calmly throws it on to first base. But transitioning to second base, I've seen a little bit over the last couple of years, and he looks great over there for the Circle Tap Dukes. Skied out to center field. Hanley will camp under it, and a la Devon White makes the catch at chest level for the second out.
Louis Jogler, of course, is who I was referring to. Louis, who was about 6'6" and went about 285, 290. He'd probably be a couple of weight classes above Daniel Dalton.
So, Blair, this is going to be before my time, but Russell Callahan, the former Colorado ISC commissioner, says, does anyone remember Decatur, Illinois in 1988? They say that one was a scorcher as well.
Yeah, that's a little before my time with the ISC too. I know the ISC's been in several places where the sun shines very brightly. St. Joseph's, Missouri, I'm told, was one of the hottest ones back in the late 90s, early 2000s as well.
So Scott Nehigh walked and was sacrificed in his last at-bat, and right now he is in a hole 0-2 against Sebastian Gervasuti, who has retired the last 5 batters he's faced. Actually, he's retired the last 8 batters he's faced. This is lifted out to center field. Hanley has to track back and crashes through the center field fence with another great catch here at the ISC World Tournament.
Well, if you can do it, we can do it. And Scott Nehigh has the tables turned on him and some leather being flashed here by these two teams. So this is an elimination game, and you can't afford to hold anything back at this point.
9-1-2 due up for Circle Tap when we return here on the ISC Network.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, you can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca. We thank First Nations Payments for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Jeff Matazinski will lead things off for Circle Tap in the top of the 5th inning. He struck out last time around and swings through the first pitch from Devin McCullough.
Kris just talking with Buddha, our good friend here off to my right, about hot scorchers of tournaments. 1980, Tempe, Arizona.
Ooh.
They started the games at 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and when that game was finished, everybody was off the field until 6 p.m. when they resumed play. Just too hot to play in the afternoon in Tempe, Arizona.
Wow. 2 strikes to Matazinski, and it's 1-2-3 back to the bench. Matazinski down on strikes for the second time against Devin McCullough. So we talked about Gervasuti retiring 9 in a row. McCullough has now sat down 5 in a row.
Yeah, I think these guys are finding the range. Took them a little bit to settle in, as you said, and we could be in for a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Not sure what our schedule is going to be like.
Yeah, we're moving along pretty good in this game, actually, although we were about a half hour behind schedule to start. Now we are 15 minutes to the next scheduled game, but that is part of the charm of the ISC and being at the ball field all day. Time doesn't have to matter.
Well, there was an hour built in for some flexibility for the start of that winners bracket final. Toronto Gators and Hill United, the numbers 2 and number 1 ranked teams respectively.
Sinclair going to see if he checked his swing. I didn't think he did, and neither did Rob Duran. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 5th inning for Devin McCullough.
Batting second baseman number 41, Daniel Dalton.
So Dalton's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice. Steps in with 2 out in the top of the 5th inning. Still 1-1. Both teams scoring runs early in this game. Dalton swings through with a drop ball for a strike.
And I got to think, if this guy wasn't on the Team Canada radar, he certainly should be by the end of this season. I've got to think that he'll be getting some looks from John Stewart and the Team Canada brass.
Swing through for another strike. Dalton's looking straight back out of the mound, like he's saying, I haven't seen this before. Danny Dalton plays back in the St. John Senior League with the Kelly's Pub Bulldogs. And he chases high, well out of the zone for strike 3. So McCullough strikes out the side on a minimal number of pitches. Only 9 or 10, I wasn't counting, but it didn't take much. Down goes Circle Tap in the top of the 5th inning. And when we come back, it'll be the bottom third of the A1 Bombers lineup looking to break the tie.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time Fastpitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program. At Cooper Tire, we make tires for people, not just cars. Our brand promise is that Cooper Tires perform on the road so drivers can perform everywhere those roads take them, because life is a journey. From the everyday motorist to the most demanding high-performance off-road and motorsports enthusiasts, we have tires for you. Cooper Tire is proudly based in Findlay, Ohio, and we have manufacturing, sales and distribution, technical and design operations within our family of companies in more than a dozen countries around the world. Visit us online at coopertire.com to learn more. Cooper Tire, proud of where we've been, confident in where we're going.
So the last few innings moving along fairly quickly. We're into the bottom of the fifth. Sebastian Gervasuti has retired the last 9 batters he's faced. And Mike Hoadley will lead things off. The number 7 hitter in the order. Hoadley's batting over 300 in the tournament. He's played at both corners of the infield, and he's now ahead in the count, 1-0. Kris Abbott and Blair Setford with you on the ISC Network. Coming up next, the Scarborough Force and the BCA's Lance Wynn and Joe Todd will have the call. Blair and I are going to go get a healthy lunch.
Probably a ribeye sandwich, I'm thinking.
You mean a garden salad?
The garden salad, that's right. That
Garden
sounded like
salad.
a ribeye sandwich to me, too.
Yes. Well, we'll be digging into the ribeyes. I believe it's our rotation for the ribeye. We have the wood fire pizza yesterday, which they make fresh here in front of you from fresh dough. It takes them about 6-7 minutes. And it is well worth it. I got to say, the concessions here at this tournament have been A+++.
Kris, you were talking about coming up on the ISC Network, BCA Scarborough Force. It'll be Ramon Jones for the BCAs and Juan Podolicio getting the ball for the Scarborough Force.
A couple of flamethrowers coming in. That's going to be a fun one. Well, they're all fun from here on in. Hoadley grounds to short. Sinclair has found his range. 1 down.
Yeah, much better play there by Ryan Sinclair than earlier in the game when a couple of errant tosses ended up leading to the only run of the game for the Bombers. That was Chris Walushka, who essentially manufactured that on his own.
Mingo Varela
Number 19, Mingo Valero.
plays left field for this A1 Bomber squad. He goes swinging through a rise ball, which nobody seems to have been able to lay off on either squad here today. Varela went down swinging in the second. We're in the bottom of the fifth. 1-1 tie. Another rise ball from Gervasuti that Varela rips at. We've had 2 runs. Blair just mentioned the leadoff reach on an error, 2 stolen bases, and scoring on an error by Chris Walushka. Tom Crouch had a home run for Circle Tap, and that is all the offense in this one so far, as Devin McCullough and Sebastian Gervasuti have taken over this game. In our first game of the day, the BCAs eliminated the Toronto Batmen. But hats off to the Batmen, Blair, who got knocked down into the loser's bracket early. And they grinded and grinded their way all the way to Friday. And they did that all by playing games that either started at 10, 12, or 2 o'clock in the day.
Yeah, playing in the heat of the sun all week.
Varela lifts this into left center. That's going to get down between Matazinski and Hoven. And we've got a double for Mingo Varela with 1 out in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, is this the door being pried open by the A1 Bombers? Gervasuti has kept it locked shut since the first.
Batting shortstop, number 30, Gil Sands.
So Gil Sands, who's batting a touch under 500 for the event. has an opportunity here in a clutch situation with one down, and Varela on second. That's a drop ball off the plate, ball one. For RBI, he's tied for second on the team with Tyler Dudley. High drop ball, too high on the, I'm going to say 5'6", 5'7" Gil Sands. See Gervasuti reaching back. He's got a huge rag hanging out of the back of his pocket. So much so that I thought he had ripped a pocket off the back of his pants when he was walking out to the mound last inning.
Of course, that's the Gorilla Gold rag.
Sands, chopper to second. Backhanded play, Dalton on to first for the out. Dalton took a quick look at third before throwing that. And being a newcomer, maybe not realizing how speedy Sands was. But he made the play.
Well, he made a good, strong throw to first after he had that look at third, and they did get Sens by half a step. And again, I continue to be impressed by the defense of Daniel Dalton.
22, Kris.
Walushka is 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored the only run of the game for the A1 Bombers. Now has a chance to drive in a run with Mingo Varela on third base after a double and the Sens ground out. Ball one high and outside. And we're going to get a visit to the mound.
Very quick visit to the mound by Ed Maticinski. He just popped right out of the dugout and hit the field running. I'm not sure what the issue was, but he saw something he didn't like and was immediately out there to talk to Sebastian Gervasuti and the rest of the infield.
Well, Walushka is batting .300 on the tournament. Derek Kennedy on deck is batting .200, who's struck out a couple of times here today. So maybe the message is to be careful with Kris Walushka.
Well, I get that. And I don't know that you needed necessarily to burn a conference.
Well, yeah, you've got a veteran out there like Gervasuti who's well aware of who he struck out today and how difficult they were. And he's gone to 3-0 on Walushka with neither pitch anywhere handy to the strike zone.
Yeah, this looks pretty much like one of those unintentional, intentional walks. But I'll be honest, I don't recall the two strikeouts of Derek Kennedy being any breeze. I mean, they were tough at bats that Gervasuti was able to grind out. But Derek Kennedy is a pretty dangerous stick in his own right.
Well, they have picked their poison for sure. And you know, the other thing is if you do get into a battle with Kennedy and happen to lose him, then you risk Freddie Carmona coming up with runners on.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that this does do is it sets up a force. You do have runners on the corners as Varela with that double is over at third base, but something up the middle, you could have an easy flip to second for a force.
And Josh Horton stopped on the way through to chat with Kennedy, so coaches are trying to get involved in breaking this tie here now. Will we see Walushka on the move, potentially? First pitch is outside and a ball.
On a big bluff there by Walushka just to see if they were going to come up throwing.
This is why we love the game. It's situations like this. Walushka's off on the move. They faked a throw, and he will move to second. And I don't know, do you call that a stolen base? Do you call it catcher's indifference?
I think in that one they never had any intention to throw to second base. The play was always going to try and be to see if they could get Varela napping off a third.
Defensive indifference it is. Runners on second and third for Derek Kennedy. And I think it's a 2-0 count.
Yeah,
yes,
2-0 on
confirmed.
Kennedy here. Neither of those pitches were really that close. Both of them were that big sweeping curveball.
That's a great drop ball over the outer half. Hoping Kennedy would pound it into the ground. 2-1. Runner on second is Walushka. Runner on third is Mingo Varela. 1-1 with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. Kennedy looks at strike 2, a dipper outside.
What an outstanding pitch there from Gervasuti. There's going to be nothing that Kennedy can do with that pitch.
Big moment in this game for Sebastian Gervasuti. 2-2 to the number 2 hitter, Derek Kennedy. Kennedy struck out twice already. Chopper to third base, picked up onto first, and they're out of the inning. Tom Crouch with the good hands, and the A1 Bombers threaten but do not put a run across. We're going to go to the 6th inning, all square at 1.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Devin McCullough, the pitcher for the A1 Bombers, back out for his 6th inning of work. His 16th inning of work here in the ISC tournament. It's going to be the 3-4-5 hitters for Circle Tap, and this is a big inning for the Dukes. Manny Godoy, Jovan Hanley, and Zane Van Lys out.
Haven't been able to get much out of these guys today, but they've been the producers over the course of the week, especially the 3 and 4 guys, Godoy and Hanley.
McCullough was hoping to get Godoy off balance with the changeup. Wasn't called a strike, and he didn't swing, and now McCullough in a 2-0 hole. Hitter's pitch likely upcoming for Manny Godoy. A high changeup. He tried to go back-to-back, and now a 3-0 count to the leadoff hitter. Godoy is 0 for 2, and he struck out in his last trip. Four-pitch walk.
Not to be confused with the 4-ball walk.
No, the 4-ball walk, which we had occur in the last game. And Todd McCabe, with his dry wit, hanging out behind you, picking you apart, said, "Hey, Blair, every walk is a 4-ball walk." So the leadoff walk, the ever dangerous leadoff walk.
Well, the Joe Todd stat of the day is that 2/3 of leadoff walks come around to score. We'll see which category this falls into.
Cleanup hitter Hanley tried to slap down a bunt. Certainly wasn't a sacrifice type attempt.
Well, you saw him just patting his helmet. I think what he's saying there to Ed Matazinski was, "That was me. I did that on my own."
Corners are even with the bags. Now creeping in a little bit is Hoadley at first.
I'm not taking the bat out of my 4 stick right here.
Not the way this game is going. It's been hard to string together a couple. Godoy on first, not going to burn up the base paths. Oh, Hanley gets a pitch he likes, fouls it straight back. 1-2.
4-pitch walk.
Just rubbing it in a little here is Buddha with the 4-pitch walk. Not to be confused with the 4-ball walk, of course.
1-2 to Hanley. Ooh, that was close. A little bit low. 2-2. Nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Still tied at 1. Circle Tap and A1 Bombers. Winner moves on to face the Gremlins. Loser is done. That is picked up by Sands at short. He tried to make a play, an infield single for Hanley, but wow, that kept the runner at second, Gil Sands.
Well, he plays very deep and almost with the heels on the grass, and that was a heck of a play just to keep that ball on the infield. Not sure if he was trying to flick it to Dudley or if he was trying to get it all the way to first.
You can probably see folks in the right field past the fence on your screen as time is being called by the A1 Bombers. We see some first responders here at the field. We haven't had any reports of incidents, and I hope everyone's okay. But certainly if you're coming to the park, we want to make sure that everyone is avoiding any type of heat exhaustion or anything like that. It is extremely hot and humid here at the Green Valley Sports Complex. So make sure you're looking after yourself if you come here in terms of hydration, in terms of sunscreen.
Well, that's what I'm hearing it is, Kris, is a probable case of dehydration. They're going to bring in the gurney and make sure that person involved is well looked after. Don't want to give out any names to respect some privacy, but it is somebody who is close to us.
So with runners on first and second and nobody out, the designated player, Zane Van Lyshout, is at the plate. Circle tap, threatening. Turns, pops up the bunt. Big out for Devin McCullough and the A1 Bombers. And as a coach, that drives you crazy.
Around the bend crazy.
That takes the fun out of fundamental for the Circle Tap Dukes. Guillermo Patat steps in, runners on first and second, one out now.
Catcher, number 12, Guillermo Patat.
He is 1 for 2 with a single.
Jorge Segura continues to work down the left field line, just in case.
First pitch to Patat is a deadly changeup. It was off the plate, but he just could not hold back. That's out of the zone from McCullough. 1-1 counts to Patat.
He's hit the ball hard twice today, too. Singled back in the second, and then, of course, had that big fly ball out to right that Knee-High was able to haul back.
That's right, the 250-foot hit. Actually, probably would have went about 260. Knee-High went back and yanked it down. Over top of that, 1-2. Tom Crouch on deck has the supplied the only amount of offense for Circle Tap today in a solo home run. So even though it is the 6 and 7 hitters, this is a tough spot for Devin McCullough. Gets under that changeup, and lucky for him, it stayed up and out of the zone. Looks like we've got a little friend on the left side of our screen. A little bug crawling up the camera, if you saw that. Two and two is the count. One away, runners on first and second. Guillermo Patat, the batter. Chases out of the zone. McCullough gets him swinging. 2 away. McCullough has 66.7% of the way worked out of this jam.
Now batting, third baseman number 29, Tom Crouch.
9 Ks on the afternoon for Devin with 2 down here in the 6th. Big moment. Crouch has been the offense right now for Circle Tap.
Popped up to short in his last at-bat. Takes a drop ball for strike 1 on the inside of the plate. I see Hill United Chiefs field manager John Hill now in the second row, checking out some of the action. His wife Bridget, always at his side. She's at the park as well. This is slapped into center field. Charging and making the play is Kris Walushka. Pitching and defense has been the name of the game here so far. And Devin McCullough works his way out of 2 runners on and nobody out. Chance loss for the Circle Tap Dukes. Momentum gain for the A1 Bombers, who will send their 3, 4, 5 hitters to the plate when we come back.
Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
Why do you play? For 100 years since 1912, Worth has been helping top athletes answer that question. Whether it's for strikeouts or home runs, the Worth K-Master 120 is the best ball in men's fast-pitch softball, and there's nothing soft about it or you. Worth is proud to be the official ball supplier to the ISC. Visit worthsports.com for more information on Worth products, including the K-Master.
Bottom of the 6th inning, still tied 1-1, the Circle Tap Dukes and the A1 Bombers. Freddie Carmona will lead things off. He's 0 for 2. Marshall Cronk, due up after him, is 0 for 2. And Tyler Dudley, due up third, 1 for 2 with an infield single. Carmona going for the drop ball out of the park swing, and he's behind in the count, 0-1. Kris Abbott and Blair Setford here with you on the ISC Network. Lance Wynn and Joe Todd will have the next game, Scarborough Force and the BCAs. Carmona is going to single to right, opposite field. Scott Nehigh will check that. Justin Colombo will get the ball back into the infield. Carmona at first with a leadoff single.
That was quite the hop as that hit the ground about 3 feet in front of the plate and went all the way out to right in front of Colombo before it came back down again.
We've got a pinch runner coming in for the A1 Bombers. It's going to be number 21, Al Martin, who will run for the catcher, Freddie Carmona.
Al, one of the coaches / sponsors on the A1 Bombers, and they must definitely want to get Freddie out of the heat of the afternoon. Those legs are probably pretty heavy at this point.
So Marshall Cronk steps in. He went down on 3 pitches in his first at-bat, then swung at the first pitch in his second at-bat. He popped up to Daniel Dalton. But this is why you have the big Aussie in your lineup for times like this. And anyone watching back in Queensland in the Kronk household is on pins and needles for sure. Outside dipper for a ball. So circle tap threatened in the top half of the inning. Bombers looking to make them pay in the bottom half. Kronk, chopper to third, foul. 1-1. Kronk turns, sack bunt. Trying to manufacture any way at all. Patat makes the play. Kronk also might have caught some of the circle tap infielders off guard.
Well, we'll see which one of these ways works out. Circle tap elected not to have their cleanup batter bunt. The A1 Bombers do. And it was a good one by Marshall. I don't know how often he gets called on to bunt, but I was pretty impressed there. Got that down. Like you said, took people by surprise.
So Tyler Dudley, who's done some damage out of the 5-hole, has a chance to drive in the winning run, or the go-ahead run. Don't want to get ahead of myself. Runner on second, one down. The second baseman, Dudley, takes the first pitch low and away from Sebastian Gervasuti.
And don't forget that Tyler had that leg cramp earlier in the game, so he may not have all the wheels that are usually at his disposal.
It was his front leg here in the batter's box, a better one to have cramp up than your back leg. Swing and a miss at the drop ball, 1-1 count. Talked about Daniel Dalton's parents and girlfriend being in the stands. His girlfriend Julie is standing now, nervously watching the action here. One and one count, one down. Score is 1-1. Dudley swings through the curve drop. Gervasuti bearing down. Managed to strand runners on second and third in the fifth inning. This is in the dirt. It's going to get past Patat. And the pinch runner Martin will make his way to third base now with one out.
Well, this is where you need a strikeout from your pitcher to manage this situation. Can't have or can't give up a sac fly to Tyler Dudley. Sebastian Gervasuti needs to reach back and find a way to get a strikeout.
Count is even at 2. Drilled up the middle, a go-ahead single for Dudley. He rounds first with his arm in the air. Martin will score, and Tyler Dudley has broken the deadlock here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Well, just a good bit of hitting there by Dudley. Kept the hands back and right back up the middle. Now, they can't pinch run for him unless they're going to take him out of the game. So, because he did have the hand down by the quad as he went all the way to first, had the right arm in the air, and now they've realized, no, we've already run for you once. That's it. So he goes back to first base. So he'll have to gut it out.
Yeah, not like the Legends tournament. No courtesy runners here.
Now batting right fielder number 41, Scott Nehigh.
Scott Nehigh 0 for 1 with a walk. He'll take strike one from Sebastian Gervasuti. Tyler Dudley with an RBI single has broken the tie here in the bottom of the sixth inning, so Devin McCullough will have a chance to close things down when he comes back out to the mound for the seventh. This is lifted to left center. Gone! Scott Nehigh, a clutch 2-out home run, and the A1 Bombers now lead by 3.
Don't know who else is in the running for newcomer of the year, but Scott Nehigh might have clinched it right there with that big 2-run home run, and the Bombers now some much-needed breathing room.
Tooth and nail to this point, and back-to-back runners coming around. First Martin on the RBI single by Dudley. Then Dudley himself is cashed on the Scott knee-high home run. And now we're going to see Joel Goodall come in and pitch for Circle Tap. And it's been a tough week for Goodall on the mound.
Yeah, he was left to soak up a whole bunch of runs given up in the Hill United game, as Sebastian Giravasuti was unavailable for that one. Out of those 11 runs that he's given up, I think 10 of them were to Hill United. Almost all of them earned that night. So an 8.21 ERA, somewhat inflated when you take into account the Hill United factor, but not a week that Joel Goodall is going to want to mark down in his personal memory scrapbook.
7 2/3 innings pitched for Goodall. He's 1-1 in the record column, and he's going to come in to face the bottom third of the A1 Bombers lineup here. One away, the sack bunt from Marshall Cronk. So you asked what was the better strategy in this game, at least. The sack bunt from the cleanup man opened things up for the A1 Bombers.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
The law firm of Fireman Steinmetz Dea built its reputation on getting fair compensation for victims of serious personal injury or catastrophic claims. With a combined 90 years of experience and a fierce dedication to achieving results, Fireman lawyers have recovered millions of dollars every year for our clients. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, a slip and fall, or as a result of any other act of negligence, when we represent you, we're committed to getting the results you deserve. With the lawyers at Fireman Steinmetz Dea, you are not alone. Contact us through firemanlawyers.com for a free consultation. No legal fees are billed until you receive your settlement. We thank Jack Fireman for his generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
So Mike Hoadley will be the first batter to face Joel Goodall. Hoadley is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Drop ball is in for a strike from Goodall, who actually seems to have some gas on that out there this afternoon. Inside, check swing from Hoadley. He did go and now is in an 0-2 hole.
Well, looked like he took something off of that as well. Hoadley got caught out on the front foot.
Mike Hoadley's from Holden, Massachusetts.
Just outside of Boston. He's one of the guys who came up through the modified game. An original member of the New York Swashbucklers from a couple of years back.
We'll swash this one in the direction of the ribeye tent that we're going to hit in about 15 minutes, Blair.
Maybe more, maybe less. Depends how things go the rest of this game. There's a couple of Circle Tap fans around us here, so we can't jump ahead too far.
I'd be more than happy to watch a comeback. I was in an argument with Lance Wynn earlier this week about extra innings and the international tiebreaker rule, and we have agreed to disagree on the format used in the ISC.
I understand, and we use it in our weekend tournaments back at home, of course, the international tiebreaker rule, but here in this tournament, I'm quite happy to let them play.
That's well outside, and Patat springs out to make the grab on the pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody on base after a Scott knee-high 2-run blast to left center. Hoadley will chop it foul to stay alive. Two and 2 count, 1 down. And Hoadley does the exact same thing, chops it over towards the umpire's walkie-talkie. And we'll do it all over again. Sun beating down on the field now here early afternoon in Moline, Illinois.
Our cloud cover has all but dissipated here as morning gets into afternoon.
Just as you said that, I saw a couple of spectators pop up their own umbrellas that they've brought with them. High drop ball from Goodall is out of the zone. Full count now to Mike Hoadley, who is not making anything easy on Joel Goodall as he has entered the game for Sebastian Gervasuti. Chopper to third, great play by Crouch on to first. Oh my!
Give that play a star. Tom Crouch up on the backhand, and with his body momentum taking him away from first base, turns and throws a bit of a rainbow over to first base, and it ends in a pot of gold as they get the out.
Great extension and great arm strength. So Mingo Varela, who doubled in his last at-bat to start the threat in the 5th inning, and eventually the undoing of Circle Tap here in the 6th. Varela, foul ball. Varela was hitting .250 coming into the game today, out of the 8-hole for the A1 Bombers this week. And he slaps this one into left field. So Minga Varela takes the ball the other way, and he's 2 for 3.
You just have to wonder if Sebastian Gervasuti just hit the wall in the 6th inning here. He seemed to have things under control fairly well, I thought, all the way into and through the 5th. But starting with that Freddie Carmona single, it just all unraveled here in the 6th for Gervasuti.
Joel Goodall took over after the 2-run home run by Scott Nehigh, and he retired Mike Hoadley before giving up the single to Mingo Varela. This is to the screen, and Varela will scamper down to second base. 1-1 count now on Gil Sands. And you think back to the last inning when Sands made that diving play to keep the ball in the infield and keep runners at first and second off Jovan Hanley. It certainly changes a pitcher's perspective when there's a runner over at third as opposed to second.
Absolutely. And it's all this, we talked about here all week. it's the little things that can add up to make the difference in a ball game. So this one is going to hit him.
Oh yeah, right between the 3 and the 0, it looked like. From my perspective, it might have got him on the arm, but Sands doesn't seem to mind. He trots down to first base with the hit by pitch.
Center fielder number 22, Kris
Walushka walked his last time up, then went to second on defensive indifference, and he is the 8th batter of the inning for the A1 Bombers. Kris, Abbott, and Blair Setford with you this afternoon from the ISC World Tournament in Moline, Illinois. If you've tuned in looking for the Scarborough Force and the BCAs, they will be coming up right after this game when the world's finest grounds crew here in Moline gets their work done.
Done a real good job here with some difficult conditions on the mound amongst other places, but the diamond turnover has been very quick. They've got 4+ diamonds to deal with, actually 5 now in play with the arrival of both the Legends and the Under-21 tournament. So there's a lot going on here at the Green Valley Sports Complex.
Walushka, grounder the third. Crouch with the force play, kicks out his right leg and ends the pain for the Circle Tap Dukes here in the 6th inning, and now they have to answer back as they have 3 outs to play with while being down by 3 runs. We'll see if they've got it in them when we come back.
Think about the greatest tournaments and championships played in fastball. Remember the players who have been at the highest pinnacle of our game, like Adam Folkard and Andrew Kirkpatrick. Gorilla Gold was there helping them win. What has been a closely guarded secret by the most prominent players is now available for you. We're ready to give you a hand to play at your best in all conditions. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Var Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at PeligroSportsNYC.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Top of the seventh for the Circle Tap Dukes. And time is running short. It's going to be the 8-9-1 hitters due up. Justin Colombo, Jeff Matazinski, and Ryan Sinclair. Colombo walked back in the second and grounded out to Daniel Dalton in the fourth. He takes strike one from Devin McCullough, who must have a renewed invigoration after the 3 runs put up by his squad in the sixth.
Well, nothing like a 3-run lead heading into the last inning for a pitcher to give you a little bit of life and a little bit of a lift. You wonder, though, what will, if anything, what will Devin McCullough have left for this afternoon? He's going to have to face a hard-hitting New York Gremlins squad if they do indeed hold on to this lead. Or do you come back with Jorge Segura?
Well, you know, there's two schools of thought there. Would you be happy with making it far enough to beat the Gremlins? Or do you think Segura could be the next big thing and make his name for himself right here in Moline in 2016?
Well, the A1 Bombers came here with one goal, and that was to win the ISC World Tournament. They have upset Hill United this year. They've beaten the Force this year, and they think that they've got the team to get the job done. But this heat is really taking its toll on the pitching here this week. The advantage is to the teams who have been able to play in the evening. Not that it drops down that much, but that 5 or 6 degrees has been enough.
Colombo on the 1-2 fouls it to the screen. And Blair, you and I have been traveling and rooming together this week, so lots of great conversations about the game actually for you and I. And we talked about it this morning on the way over, that sometimes your number one guy, depending on his physical and mental state, is no longer your number one guy. So when you're in a situation like the A1 Bombers, you know, is Devin McCullough the big Western Canadian guy? Does he, you know, very well could have it to put it on his shoulders and do the same thing later today? Or do you give Segura a look?
Well, I think you've got to go with who you think is going to give you the best chance at winning. The danger, of course, Jorge Segura is already 2-1 in the tournament, and if he gets a 3-1 record, as this ball continues to amaze me, he tracked that ball down in the grass.
He gets to everything out there. It's actually unbelievable. Infield single to lead off the inning for Justin Colombo. So maybe before we talk about the A1 Bombers moving on to this afternoon's game, the Circle Tap Dukes have something to say about that. Jeff Matazinski, the number 9 hitter, is coming to the plate, and Ryan Sinclair is on deck.
Tommy Thompson, I believe, is going to be the pinch hitter. I know these broadcast are unfriendly uniforms, but pretty sure that is Tommy Thompson.
Circle tap will be number 17, Tommy Thompson.
Buddha makes it official. It is indeed Thompson.
And the ball gets away from Carmona. Colombo down to second. Tommy Thompson on the day before the Tragically Hip play their final concert, potentially with Gord Downey, but they certainly are on their new tour. Tom Thompson came paddling past. I'm pretty sure it was him. Three Pistols, one of the best Tragically Hip songs in the world.
One of my favorites from the Tragically Hip, and if you're not Canadian, you probably won't get that.
Well, I know we've got our fair share of Canadians tuned in here today. More of the world should love the Tragically Hip. I don't quite understand that, but that's a conversation for another time. It's the top of the 7th inning with nobody out and Tommy Thompson at the plate. A runner on second. Nice pitch from McCullough, and he says, where was that?
I can only guess that Freddie Malaches thought it was up a little bit because it certainly split the uprights on the way through.
Well, that's funny, Blair, because my thought was it must have been inside because it had great height. 2-0 is the count. That's a strike called by the umpire. Malaches 2-1. Colombo singled to lead off the inning, moved to second on a pass ball. Circle tap, trying to get back to the top of their order and maybe, just maybe, bring it around to Manny Godoy. Strike 2 from McCullough. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the 7th inning. The A1 Bombers lead 4-1. Devin McCullough trying to nail it down here with the win in the complete game as that ball is slapped foul over into diamond 6.
Just looking at the circle tap bench, there's Brandon Amon still available for pinch hitting duty if necessary.
Amon's got a 286 average here this week. Dudley is over at second base calling for the ball from the other field. McCullough's getting ready to throw. In the dirt for a ball, and now Dudley trying desperately to get his pitcher's favorite ball back, and he does. Full count to Tommy Thompson. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in here on the ISC Network. Great couple of days of ball left. Thompson walks, and the tying run comes to the plate in the form of the shortstop Ryan Sinclair, who is 1 for 13 in the tournament.
Well, we've seen a lot of Cardinal sins being committed here this week, and walking the 9 batter, that is certainly high on that particular list. We've seen it a couple of times. It certainly didn't work very much for the Toronto Batmen in the previous game. And we'll see how this one turns out here for Circle Tap, but they are not going quietly.
A slow walk to the mound from Bob Pittick. It doesn't look like Segura is still throwing down the left field line.
You can see all that through that umbrella, a tarp, and a tree.
No, I'm looking on our monitor.
Oh,
but
look
now
how smart you are.
I see Marshall Cronk heading back out to spot, so Segura is going to throw some pitches. No, there's physically no way to see down there from our vantage point, and in fact I've lost a few balls hit the left field this week because just don't know what happens.
I thought maybe you brought your x-ray eyes with you or something.
Sinclair up with runners on first and second, nobody down. The tying run at the plate. Sinclair takes a healthy hack, and that ball actually gets jammed up in the screen.
It is wedged and is not coming down anytime soon.
And Devin McCullough wants his favorite ball back. Throw the ball at it, he says. No, says Fred Malaches.
He was about to do it from the mound, too. He was about to throw a ball overhand at that screen.
It is wedged in between the pole and a soft mesh. It's not even caught between 2 metal posts. It's frankly impressive how that ball is hanging up there.
I've seen that once or twice this week. Anything else that gets fouled in there will probably jar it loose.
Carmona loses the ball. The runners move ahead to second and third with nobody out. And actually, if our viewers look on the screen, you can see the shadow of the ball to the right of the left-handed batter's box, just about a foot down the pole. You can see it hanging up there on the shadow, leaning into the screen. Sinclair in a 1-1 count, runners on second and third. Daniel Dalton is on deck. Manny Godoy behind him, nobody out. Sinclair swing and a miss. 1-2.
Well, we've seen it here all week in these close games. The last outs are the toughest ones to get. Somehow those tying runs always seem to come to the plate.
McCullough's been in this situation before, and granted on the world stage. And he gets Sinclair to swing through the pitch on the inside corner. 1 out. So unless Dalton hits into a double play, the top hitter on the team, Manny Godoy, will get a shot here.
Well, we talked about some of the pop that Daniel Dalton has provided over the course of the summer. Haven't seen it yet here this week.
We'll take a curving pitch over the inside corner for strike one. Dalton in his first ISC tournament, and he is right in the midst of it right now. Dalton with a good hack on the rise ball, and McCullough's gotten him up there a few times today. I'll look for him to go back there.
Yeah, his last at bat, he chased one at the letters and then one at the eyes for strikes 2 and 3. A little higher, a little harder.
And he goes right back. Dalton strikes out for the third time today. Gives the bat a little toss and frustration afterwards. And Manuel Godoy can be the hero for Circle Tap, as he is the tying run at the plate. Devin McCullough has struck out the last 2 hitters. So what was once second and third, nobody out, is second and third with 2 down, and the number 3 hitter in the lineup at the plate.
It's a great luxury when you've got a strikeout pitcher like Devin McCullough.
First pitch changeup, Godoy lays off, ball 1. McCullough was trying to end it right there with a soft tapper to the infield. He's not afraid to use any of his pitches at any time, and that makes him dangerous. Makes it harder for hitters to key in on a certain pitch. Strike on the outer half. 1-1. Two down in the top of the 7th inning. Circle Tap's tournament life in the hands of Manuel Godoy. And he drifts it to center, but just too short. Kris Walushka makes the catch. And the A1 Bombers from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan will move on to play the New York Gremlins at 4 p.m. Blair, you and I will have that game here on the ISC network. Great game here on Diamond 5 this afternoon.
Well, Manuel Godoy hit the bottom of it, just not the back of it. Gave it a ride, but as you said, just falling short. And for Circle Tap, that's the way their season will end, just falling short. A valiant run, but I don't think quite as far as they would have liked to have gotten. A1 Bombers living to fight on.
The winning pitcher is Devin McCullough, a complete game 5 hitter. And the loser will be Sebastian Gervasuti. And the Circle Tap Dukes will ditch the uniforms for the rest of this one and become spectators as the A1 Bombers move on to play the New York Gremlins.